Good evening, friends. Welcome to the third session of the teleconferencing session on Diploma in Value Added Products from Fruits and Vegetables. In this session, we will be taking the block 2 of the course 1, Food Fundamentals. As you know, the block contains 4 units. The units are food grains, pulses and oilseeds. Next is fruits and vegetables. Then dairy, poultry, meat and marine products. And last is commercial crops, spices and those. So characteristics of edible agriculture products are structured into 4 units. So we will be discussing this, and for this also we have recorded a lecture by Professor S. Lakshmi Devi. She is a very powerful orator and she presents the topic with a lot of live examples. So I will be requesting my production team to present the same, and then we will be following the question answers or any additional information. I will be there to respond to your queries. Please put the recorded lecture of Dr. Lakshmi Devi, please.
Agricultural products today, and I have a few things which I would like to tell to our counselors. What is the job of a counselor? In fact, the first thing is to impart knowledge. The second thing is to create interest in the students who are studying this particular subject, food being interesting to everybody. We have to also tell the students where India stands vis-a-vis the world with respect to food production and processing. And in fact, I have seen some of the chapters, emphasis has been laid as to how one can start one's own enterprise, because this is very, very important to India. Now I take the introduction. Industry and agriculture are 2 pillars of Indian economy. The whole world is looking at India as a big market because of a large population, which is more than 1 billion. And we have large number of food processing industry in the unorganized sector, which is a boon for us. Now let us look at what are the characteristics of edible agricultural products. Edible agricultural produce can be classified into 3 major groups: food grains, pulses and oilseeds, fruits and vegetables, commercial crops, spices and medicinal plants. In fact, you will find that this block has 4 units. Unit 4, food grains, pulses and oilseeds. Unit 5 will cover fruits and vegetables. In addition, Unit 6, which is very interesting because slightly away, but dairy, livestock and poultry. And Unit 7 covers the commercial crops, spices, medicinal and aromatic plants. Let us take the Unit 4, food grains, pulses and oilseeds. Food grains and pulses and oilseeds, the main objective is to explain the importance of cereals. All of you know that cereals are very, very important to India. Not only India, but to the whole world. We'll look at the important properties and primary processing. We'll also look at value addition to cereals, pulses and oilseeds. Now let us take the introduction to cereals. Food grains, as you all know, play a major role in Indian economy. Agricultural produce are seasonal and weather dependent, and therefore you all understand that storage becomes extremely important. What are the various methodology of storage so that the grains are do not deteriorate? That's very, very important for us so that we can save our seeds. These produce can be processed, but it should be economically viable. That is, the loss of energy and nutrition should be minimal. Now what about the production and importance? After Green Revolution, as you know, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is the father of Green Revolution. And today we have surplus food. The Western countries were imagining that by the turn of the century we'll be starving. But thanks to Green Revolution, we have total food grains to 200 million tons, 90 million tons of paddy, 75 million tons of wheat, 15 million tons of pulses and 23 million tons of oil seeds. And since last 50 years, there has been lot of improvement in food processing. Structure and composition. Wheat is a single-seeded fruit consisting of germ and endosperm, which is enclosed by epidermis. Paddy and pulses have an outer husk, and in addition and has silica, which acts as a barrier to moisture, insect and fungal growth. This is very, very advantageous. Germ is the principal part of the seed, rich in fat and is heat sensitive. Endosperm is a food reserve for the developing embryo. However, remember that this is rich in carbohydrate, and the main carbohydrate is starch, and temperature above 70 degrees leads to gelatinization of starch. Now, if you have a look at the post-harvest losses, the food grain production has increased fourfold since 1950 to 70s. It is estimated 8 to 12% of the produce is lost during post-harvest handling and storage. This amounts to 20,000 crores annually. Storage is a problem. Godowns have to have free access to insect pests, so losses are as high as 30%. Now we come to the physical and thermal properties. Physical properties are very important, and even the thermal properties. Size, shape, surface, area, density, color, frictional property, diffusivity, the moisture content are important for designing various post-harvest handling, storage, separation and drying systems. Size and shape of the grain help in designing cleaner, grader, mills and crushers. Terminal velocity of the grain helps in designing pneumatic conveyor and winnowers. Bulk density is very important, and this can be determined by displacement method using a pycnometer. Physical and thermal properties include even the angle of repose. One may ask, what is the angle of repose? This is the angle between the base and the slope of the cone formed when the grain falls freely onto the horizontal plane. And this helps in designing hoppers and dryers. Thermal property, as I mentioned, is helping in designing dryers and cookers. Water activity is very, very important, because that gives what is the microbial load of the food product which is going to be. And therefore, we have to be very careful. For safe storage, it's very important that it should be 0.6. And to avoid lipid oxidation, it should be 0.3. And as you know, water activity is the ratio of partial vapor pressure in food product over equilibrium vapor pressure at the same temperature. If we harvest the grains, what do? We have to do cleaning and grading. Cleaning because there will be stones, there will be dust, there will be metallic pieces, and therefore we use sieves to clean it. And grading is the separation of mixture of grain, which is based on common quality characteristics such as size, oil content, protein content, etc. Now, there is another interesting thing in the case of paddy, parboiling. Parboiling helps in increasing the nutrient content of paddy. Parboiling is the hydrothermal treatment given to these grains for paddy and wheat to make the grains harder, which can withstand the milling stresses. It is conducted in 3 steps: soaking, steaming and drying. And its uses are: the vitamins of the outer layers move into the endosperm, and dehusking also does not remove the vitamins. However, parboiling has negative characteristics. It imparts deep color to rice, off color and mold growth in the rainy seasons. Therefore, we have to next do conditioning and drying. Conditioning is done especially in the case of pulses and oilseeds to get better dal, and in case of oilseeds to get better oil recovery by smearing it with hot water. Drying affects the ultimate quality of the grain. 10 to 14% of moisture is considered to be safe for storage. Now I come to what are the causes of deterioration of food grains. The 3 main causes are environment, which includes temperature, relative humidity, gaseous composition. External organisms and microorganisms is the second factor, wherein we come across insects, pests which are birds and rodents, mites, fungi, bacteria and yeast. And third is the biochemical composition of the grain, is the moisture content is high, obviously the microbes will attack it. If the fat content is high, again it will be attacked by microbes. What are the ideal conditions of storage of these grains? They have to have adequate protection against insect pests, should be wholesome and pure, should be airtight. The container should be airtight during fumigation. However, should allow air movement during ventilation, should be easy to inspect and clean, and for safe storage the temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, moisture content should be 10 to 13%, and relative humidity should be 50 to 60%. Now, if we have a look at the grains, this can be stored either in bags or they can be stored in silos. What are the advantage of bag and silo storage? Normally the grains are stored in bags. The bags can be infected and they can be separated and fumigated. Each bag can be handled independently. Silo storage has the advantage that they have higher storage capacity. Loading and unloading is easier. There is no danger of rodent as they are made up of metal. Cost of gunny bags is reduced. Insect infestation is less and minimal effect of the outside environment. Well, there are various value-added products which we can get from rice. We can get rice bran oil. We can get from the paddy and soya bean. We can get soya flour. So there are many value-added products. This is given in your blocks and I have just scanned from the blocks. We can get functional foods like energy bar which provide you energy. There are weight loss bars. Today everybody is conscious about weight and we can have less of energy in those bars. However, they can be taken as breakfast bar and there are nutritional bars also. Well, we can have value-added products from wheat, paddy, corn, pulses, millets and oil seeds. And there are many things which can be made from paddy. As I told you, the rice baked snacks, rice bran oil. From wheat we can have puffed products, the extruded products. From corn, corn oil, corn chips, pulses. We can have dals, blended products and baked products from millets. And oil seeds, we can have the edible de-oiled cake as flour and protein isolate from soya. Now we come to the next unit, which is unit 5, fruits and vegetables. I think fruits and vegetables are very, very interesting because they are highly protective. Today, we'll be talking about production, composition, properties, factors responsible for determination of quality of fruits and vegetables and their control. We'll know about the post-harvest handling, processing and storage of fruits and vegetables and also byproduct utilization. And as I told you, the techno-economic feasibility of some small-scale processing industries and units. Fruits and vegetables are in abundance in India and they are available throughout the year. Therefore, processing is low and post-harvest losses are high. Fruits and vegetables are called protective foods. They have high content of vitamins and minerals. The production, in fact, as we know, it is the second largest, India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. A decade ago, it was 50% of the food grain production. Today, it is 66%. By 2010, it will be 80%. India produces rupees 100,000 crores worth of fruits and vegetables every year. 25 to 30% is the post-harvest losses. And it is the highest producer of mango, banana, papaya, sapota, cashew nut, coconut, cauliflower, okra, that is bindi, capsicum, pea and etc. Processing of fruit and vegetable is very low in India. India processes only 2.5%. Have a look at Thailand, 30%. Brazil, 70%. Philippines, 78%. Small country like Malaysia processes 80%. And in fact, in our country, when we process it, the brick content is as low as 4 bricks. In UK and other places, 6 bricks. So we require more fruits so that we can get a better quality product. Types of fruits and vegetables we'll cover. The word fruit is derived from the Latin word which means fructose, which means to enjoy. Fruit is a ripened ovary, and any edible part of the plant is called as vegetable. Value of fruits and vegetables lie in the fact that they are high in nutrients like minerals and vitamins. Physiology of fruits and vegetables. Maturity of fruits during harvest is very important. It should attain the desirable eating quality when it reaches the consumer. We can't eat mango which is unripe. It has to be eaten in a ripe condition. What are the methods of assessing the quality? We have the physical methods where we see the size, shape and color. We can use a refractometer, a penetrometer for finding out the physical characteristics, chemical characteristics, the total soluble solids. Acidity is measured by titration and starch, by colorimetric methods and biochemical methods, evolution of CO2 and ethylene, which determines the ripeness, how ripe the fruit will become. Now, what are the pre-harvest treatments? Pre-harvest treatment can be done with calcium, which delays the ripening. Low calcium leads to many problems, such as bitter pits in apples, cork spots in pears, end rot in tomatoes, tip burn in lettuce, hollow heart in potatoes. Application of zinc and boron helps in mobility of calcium from leaves to fruits. Safe harvesting. Well, we require safe harvesting so that the losses can be reduced. It is subdivided into identification of maturity. We do it clipping and collection. What are the do's and don'ts for quality harvest? Harvest is the right stage of maturity. Use proper tools to harvest, collect in bags and transport in crates. Containers should be clean with no roughages, otherwise there will be damage of the fruits. Avoid hand touching of fruits. Train the pickers. They should not pick up the fruits when they are damaged. Keep the produce away from the soil contamination and keep it in shade. Harvest early morning or evening. Field sorting and packing should be done, and cure roots and tubers before storing. Post-harvest treatment. On farm, harvest treatments are removal of field heat by cooling. Pre-cooling is essential. It increases the shelf life. If fresh produce temperature is lowered by 10 degrees in the first hour, it has been seen that the shelf life is doubled. We have to also use disinfectants. We can use hot water treatment or chemical treatments such as calcium chloride or potassium permanganate so that the other microbes which are around them can be removed. Post-harvest management include all the following steps. If you see, we have to do sorting, we have to do cleaning, we have to do trimming, waxing so that moisture content is maintained, grading, packaging, labeling, storage and transportation. Post-harvest management reduces the cost of transportation and handling. Damaged produce may spoil the adjoining produce, we can remove it. Sanitary condition can be maintained by treating with water containing 100 to 150 parts per million chlorine. Waxing of perishable reduces the rate of respiration, checks water loss, enhancing shelf life of the produce. Post-harvest management has to be attractive and economical, and therefore blanching helps in drying by evacuating the air from pore spaces and stabilize the product from microbial load. I am coming to the unit 6, dairy, livestock and poultry. In fact, if you have a look at dairy, after reading this unit, you will be able to know what is the production status, what is the importance of livestock produce. We will enumerate the value-added products from milk, indicate steps for clean milk production, give basic features of poultry management and preservation of eggs and meat, differentiate between culture and marine fisheries, outline the principle of preservation and processing of fish. Now, production and economic importance. India ranks first in respect to cattle production. We are very, very lucky, and I think we should tap what we have. Livestock products play a pivotal role in improving the livelihood of large number of people by providing food products and byproducts for human utility. India is the largest producer of milk in the world, produces 91 million tons of milk, 41 billion eggs. It ranks 5th in egg production in the world and 3rd largest producer of fish in the world. Dairy, that is milk. Milk is the lacteal secretion of mammary glands of animals. The principal constitution of milk are fat, protein, lactose and minerals. Milk constituents are divided into 3 groups: water, fat and solid not fat, SNF. If you have a look at cow's milk, the composition is very interesting. It has 4% fat, 3.4% protein, very, very important. Lactose is 4.6%, ash is 0.74%, total solids 13.64%, the water is 86.36%. In India, the interesting point was, we had what is called as White Revolution, the Operation Flood. This is the largest dairy cooperative project. Thanks to Dr. V. Kurian, who started Amul, Anand Milk Producer Union Limited. It has now become a global brand. What is the nutritional importance of milk? Milk is recognized as an ideal food. It has very high nutritive value. It supplies body-building proteins, bone-forming minerals, health-giving vitamins, lactose and fat furnish energy. Milk is especially good for infant, growing children and pregnant mothers. You must be seeing that every time the doctors tell that infant should be breastfed because it is a whole food for their children. The clean milk production. How do we assure that the milk production will be clean? The animal must be made clean and must be kept healthy. Every day we should wash the animals before we milk it. The housing where the animals have should be very clean. It should be fly-proof and the parlor should be fly-proof and disease-free environment should be there. Clean utensil and milking pail should be used. Clean water should be used and clean milking should be done. The basic milk processing. Milk after being received at the dairy plant is subjected to various unit operations. The first is reception and storage of milk. Raw milk reception dock, which we abbreviate as RMRD. The milk is chilled as soon as it is received because you know that it can be spoiled very, very easily if the temperature is not kept low. Milk is then separated into cream, and this is done because there is a difference in specific gravity and done by centrifugation. Another method is pasteurization. It is a process of heating milk to at least 63 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes or 72 degrees centigrade for 15 seconds. That is, when we raise the temperature, the time period or the duration for pasteurization can be reduced. Milk products. Milk can be dehydrated, concentrated and coagulated, fermented and fractionated into large number of products. The products are butter, cheese, frozen dairy product like ice cream, khoya, chana and ghee. These are the various products which can be produced, some by coagulation. Ice cream can be produced and some can be produced as a result of desiccation. Then we come to poultry. What does the term poultry include? It includes ducks, geese, turkeys, pheasants, pigeons, guinea fowls, chickens. Chickens are the most popular as they account for 90% of the total poultry population. The current poultry population in the country is about 435 million, and it accounts for 4% of the world poultry. Poultry management is a very interesting technique. It involves management of chicks, layers and broilers. Chick management is also called as brooding management. Chicks are transferred to the brooder house as soon as they hatch, and they are reared for 6 to 8 weeks, and the temperature is a controlled temperature, 35 degrees to 21 degrees. And the brooder house should be rainproof, draught-free, protected against predators. Then we have the grower management. It involves the chicks. Now the chick grow into the young pullet or hen, which will start laying eggs by 20 weeks, and the body weight is 1.2 to 1.4 kilogram, but note, deworming is essential. Layer management. The flock is transferred from grower to a layer house at 18 to 20 weeks, and here more space is provided to them, and if the lighting is kept properly, it boosts up the egg production. Poultry management also includes male management and female management. Males have to be provided with extra calcium, manganese and vitamin to ensure proper fertility. Housing has to protect the poultry from sun, rain and predator, and feeding is the major expenditure of the poultry management, which is 60 to 70% of the cost, and more than 40 nutrients are required for poultry. The composition and nutritive value of the egg is very interesting. The main parts of the egg are shell, which is 8 to 11%. The albumin is 56.61% and yolk is 27 to 32%. Egg contains 2 parts, white and 1 part yolk by weight. 2 parts white and 1 part yolk. Mixed egg contains 65% water, 12% protein, 11% fat. Yolk is rich in fat and fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E and K and lecithin. Microbial growth and sealing the pores so that the moisture gas loss can be minimized. And we have to retard the microbial growth. That's what I have to emphasize. The common methods include thermal processing, immersion in liquid, oil coating, cold storage and pickling. Processing of poultry meat, it has a high nutritive value. It is easily digestible. The protein content is high, fat is less. Chicken meat contains all the amino acids comparable to milk and egg protein. We come to meat. Meat means flesh of animals, especially mammals and birds. The per capita available of animal protein in India is 10 grams as against the world average of 25 grams, which is alarming. Because you see, in India we are mostly vegetarians. The annual meat production in our country is 4 to 6 million tons, and we are 8th in the world. We process only 1% of wheat. What is the structure and composition of meat? Meat is composed of muscle tissue along with various connective tissue, mainly made up of proteins. The 2 proteins are collagen and elastin. Collagen on heating in presence of moisture is gelatin. Elastin is tougher. Composition of muscle tissue is 75% water, 25% solids, out of which 19% are proteins. Lipids are 2.5 to 5% of muscle. Meat is a rich source of minerals and vitamins too. Preservation of meat, it is highly perishable due to neutral pH, high moisture content and rich nutrients. Various methods to extend the shelf life of meat are chilling, freezing, curing, that is smoking, thermal processing, canning, dehydration and irradiation. There are various meat products, meat curries, pulao, kebab, tandoori chicken, grilled products and pickles, and the byproducts are skins and hides. Now we come to fisheries, culture fisheries. The fish culture in ponds is an age-old practice. The series of steps for culture of fish are controlled breeding in captivity, production of quality seeds, rearing of spawn to fry stage, fry to fingerling, raising table-sized fish. The process of releasing of egg by female and milt by male is called spawning. The mature fish are induced to breed by giving pituitary injections. Fisheries, fish is a valuable product due to high quality of proteins and presence of essential amino acid and high fat, especially PUFA. PUFA means polyunsaturated fatty acids. It is a rich source of vitamin group B. Composition of fish is 80% water, 15 to 25% protein, mineral matter 1 to 2% and other constituent 1%. India is the third in the production of fish in the world and second in the inland fish production. Preservation of fish can be done because it is highly perishable, decomposes quickly. There is a stale odor which we get when the fish deteriorates. It is due to trimethylamine. It can be preserved by the following methods: drying, salting, pickling, smoking, canning, chilling and freezing. There are lots of value-added products you can see: fish fillets, cutlets, burgers, balls, sausages, noodles, rolls, patties, squids, pickle and papad, and jhuri bhangra. So these are the products which we can get from the fish. I am going to the unit 7, commercial crops, spices, medicinal and aromatic plants. Crops which are important from commerce point of view are called commercial crops. In India, there are two crops, namely sugarcane and cotton. India is the largest sugarcane producer in the world. Sugarcane is the most efficient crop from transformation point of view. It converts solar energy into sugar, cellulose and non-cellulosic products. A typical sugar factory processing 100 tons of sugar cane produces 10 tons of sugar, 4 tons of molasses, 30 tons of bagasse, 3 tons of filter muds and 30 tons of cane tops and leaves. Supposing you are asked, there is a factory which is able to process 1000 tons of sugar cane, how much of sugar will it produce? So you should be able to calculate this from this particular table. Processing of sugar cane: 100 tons of cane produces 10 tons of sugar, 4 tons of molasses, 3 tons of bagasse and 30 tons of cane tops and sugar cane leaves. Juice extraction is very good because we take sugar cane juice. This is done in dry crusher and we can get 73% of the juice and rest is recovered by wet crushing. This is neutralized by adding lime. Juice boiling should be done within 8 to 10 hours to avoid sugar inversion. It inverts. There is a process, there is an enzyme called invertase. Jaggery and khandusari are ancient sweeteners. 40% of the sugar in India is used for jaggery production. Jaggery is very interesting because it is considered to be diuretic, refreshing tonic and is cooling. What are the byproducts of sugar cane? The bagasse, the fibrous residue left over after extraction of juice. It can be used for pulp production, paper industry, fuel, fodder for animal, mushroom production and also as soil conditioner. Unit operation in paper manufacturing. We do digestion, washing, screening, bleaching and dewatering and thickening. And we can get the paper produced. Well, the details are given in your block. Cotton is an important commercial crop which provides employment to millions of people. Around 2.5 million people are employed. Cotton is known for production of lint and cottonseed oil. Processing of cotton, ginning is carried out to separate lint from seed cotton. How do we evaluate the quality of the cotton? Quality of the cotton is judged by the quality of yarn spun from it. Spinning performance is expressed as highest standard count, HSC, which cotton can spin. Higher the HSC, the better the yarn can be spun. Longer linted cotton give better spinning performance. Superior long staple cotton, 27 mm and above, provides the best quality length for spinning. Now we come to spices. India is well known as the home of spices. Cardamom is called as the queen of spices and pepper, obviously, is the king of spices. India is the largest producer and exporter of pepper, ginger and turmeric. Spices we know chili, cardamom and pepper. From pepper we get piperine. But many times there are people who do adulterate pepper with papaya seeds. How do we differentiate whether the papaya seeds have been adulterated with pepper? Cut the pepper open into two. Since it's said, if you have a look at papaya, there will be a line in between the seed and there will be no line, there will be a hollow thing present in the pepper, and so you can make out whether it is pepper or papaya. We have tamarind, imli. Every plant part of tamarind is useful. Root is used for controlling dysentery, stem bark used as astringent, timber is used for furniture and fuel, leaves are rich in tartaric and malic acid, flowers of tamarind are cooling and antibilious, poultice of flowers are used for inflictions, juice extracted from flowers and used in the case of internal bleeding, pulp is rich in tartaric acid. However, storage of pulp becomes darker and black due to what is called as Maillard reaction. The free amino acids and sugar, that is the amino group in the protein, combines with the aldehyde or the keto group in the sugar, and therefore this browning occurs. Tamarind kernel powder is TKP, is about 50% weight of the seeds, contains 48% polysaccharides, 18.9% albumin, 7 to 8% fatty matters, 8 to 9% moisture, 1.6% ash, 3.2% soluble matters, 11.3% insoluble matters. This is used in sizing in textile industry. We come to turmeric. There was a lot of controversy about turmeric because of patent rights. Turmeric has been used for age-old times. Common products of turmeric are powder, volatile oil and oleoresin. It is used as a fruit flavorant, colorant, as a cosmetic and a dye. And it's also used as a face pack to clear pimples and unwanted hair. The medicinal and aromatic plants. If you have a look at them, the medicinal plants are important as they work with the body's own defense system. The isolated chemical medicines may cause harm to the body on expiry. However, even if you take the natural products, they cause no harm. Many plants provide both food and medicines. Lemon improves resistance to infection. Papaya is useful for expelling worms. Onion relieves bronchial infection, etc. Processing of medicinal and aromatic plants involve comminution. It is a process of size reduction so that the surface area of the produce increases for solvent interaction with the produce. Most of the produce is dried, crushed and ground to extract the active ingredients. The homogeneity of the ground particle shows the efficiency of extraction. And the active constituents are separated using the solvent. The essential oils are separated by steam distillation. Well, I have tried to connect all these things together, unit 4, 5, 6 and 7. And I would like to conclude by saying that every counselor has a responsibility to give the best to the students in terms of knowledge and practical skills. Because the moment they learn the practical skills, they will be able to set up their own enterprise wherever there is some kind of boost given to the students who are undergoing this particular training in your regional centers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. So friends, we have seen how exhaustively madam has covered all the 4 units. If you see, the first unit was food grain, pulses and oil seeds. She started with the production, structure, composition and what are the post-harvest losses. Around 8 to 12% in the sales is there as compared to fruits and vegetables. The important point she mentioned, the storage losses is around 30%. And then she also covered at what are the points which is to be for proper storage and which are well covered into our unit. what are the different physical and thermal properties of cereal pulses, then what are the wheat, what is the rice, what is their composition, their structure, and what are the different type of value added products which are there. Parboiling of the rice, drying conditions, what should be there, what should be the moisture percentage, what should be the relative humidity. So those aspects have been very well covered in the unit. So you must see, and these are the practical utility of the things, that how do you store the wheat and rice, particularly it is there. What are the ideal condition for storage? Like relative humidity should be around 50 to 60%, the moisture percentage should be 10 to 13%, and then the temperature should be around 15 degrees centigrade. Then we came to the fruits and vegetables, that is horticulture, which is the core part of the thing. So she covered the what is the production, what is the composition, what is the properties, and what are the factors which are responsible for the shelf life or the quality of the products, starting from the production aspects like the role of calcium, role of zinc. Then she also covered the processing level. As we know, the processing of the fruit and vegetable is very less in our country, around 2%, as compared to very high in other countries like Thailand, around 42%, Brazil 70%. She also mentioned that the quality of the bricks of our output is very less. That's why we may need more of the fruit and vegetables into this. She also covered the different aspects of the post-harvest handling, how do we do it, and what type of the processing is there. Then she covered the third unit, that is the dairy, poultry, meat, and the marine products is there. And she covered what is the production aspects, then what is the particularly milk, like what is the clean milk production is there, what are the basic processing steps are there, what is the nutritional importance, and what are the different milk products which could be prepared. Same way, she also covered the poultry aspects, that is the production aspects, that we are very rich is there in the birds, then nutritional value of the egg, the nutritional value of the meat, how it is processed. So those aspects were covered. Then she covered under this the fish component also, the importance of fish, that it contains high moisture percentage, good protein, they are very good in polyunsaturated fatty acids, and when you get the typical fish smell, it is because of the what reason, and a range of value added fish products which are covered. Then she covered the last unit, commercial crops, spices, medicinal and aromatic plants. In commercial crops, she covered the sugar and the cotton. Basically these two crops were taken. Sugar, she mentioned the type of the products we can handle, like if you take 100 kilogram of 100 tons of sugar cane, you are going to get 10 tons of the sugar is there. Then byproducts, how it is used for the paper manufacture, it is there. Similarly, the characteristics of the cotton was also covered. Then spices, the India is also very good to have the spices. Cardamom, we have good, they call the queen, the pepper, the king of the spices is there. And then their medicinal uses, it was also covered very well. Then she covered the medicinal and aromatic plants which are good for our this. So to conclude, friends, the madam covered all the aspects of all the characteristics of edible and agriculture products, that is starting from the food grains, pulses and oilseeds, fruits and vegetables, dairy, poultry, commercial crops. So this blog gives an overall picture about the different agriculture products which could be covered into this. So with this, I think you can discuss with your counselor all the details, and if you have certain queries or those things, you can send your queries to us. We'll try to send back the information to you. With this, we thank you for attending to this session. Thank you very much.